Hey there, Julia here. Somehow we are at mid-year and it's that time again to check in and just go through my journals and planners, talk about what's working, talk about what's not working. Spoiler alert, one journal I just totally trashed. It's been a weird year in general, but my planner and journal situation has been a little weird too. I've had a well-documented paper disaster situation. What in the actual Things that I usually enjoy have kind of lost the charm. I mean, I still have favorites, so we'll just go through the group and see where we're at. Okay, the first notebook, journal, whatever, is my rings system. And for this, I've been keeping a few things in here. This is the Giglio personal wide rings. It does have the larger ring system, so this can grow. I am kind of testing this ring system out for other things as well. I want to see if maybe I could have a ring system as my planner, but I do want to keep this system in play regardless. And this houses my business references. If you didn't know, me and my husband have a graphic design, branding, strategy business. And so as a business owner, there's all kinds of things to keep up with. So in here I have tax stuff, just a running list of logos that we do in a year for social media purposes, things like that. And I had just a blast making these little dividers and things to kind of decorate this up a little bit. I have a section for Julia here, the channel. So in here I have some social media goals, post ideas. I was supposed to be using this for video outlines, but I haven't really. I kind of stick those into whatever blank notebook I can find, but the intent is there. This is some Aerofoil paper that I cut down to size, and I love writing on this paper though, I will say. And then in the back here, I have a section for Etsy references, so sticker sizes that I carry and different sticker ideas and things like that. And then I just have some blank pages in the back. So I do like that there are dividers like this, and it kind of takes me back to school a little bit. Should be no surprise or shocker that I was really into stationery in school, and so I loved having my little binder with my dividers all organized, or my 5-subject notebook with each divider decorated for the subject, like all of that. So this really brings me joy. Yes, it is kind of a pain to write on this side, but I never mind just taking out the page, do what I need to do and put it back in if it's on this side. But yeah, this is working pretty well. I'm not utilizing all of these cool pockets except for this one apparently, where I have some of these Stology calendar stickers that was supposed to be used for social media post planning, and then I could move it around because these are replaceable, like reusable stickers. But I haven't been using those as much lately, and I don't think there's anything else in any of these other pockets. So maybe this needs to get simplified at some point, but I am using it when needed. Next up is my reading journal, which is in a plotter in the Bible size. And so with this, I pretty much made my own reading journal spreads here, and it's been fine. I wish that my reading year was better. It's been pretty abysmal. So I am using this. I'm enjoying the way it looks, but some of the spreads just aren't being utilized to their full potential because I'm not reading. I don't know, I'm not getting through as quickly books as I typically do. And that's probably because most of the books that I'm reading are just not it. They're not terrible, but where I'd would DNF, but I'm just, ugh. So here's this fun little page of books read. I have a rating for each. I print out the cover, and then the little stripe down the side indicates whether it's a physical ebook or audiobook. Lots of blankness. This is usually more fun. This is the book bracket where I pick favorites out of every month, and then it trickles down to my favorite book of the year, but I'm barely reading 1 or 2 books a month. Maybe, usually it's just 1. So that's been a little annoying. I'm not doing the monthly favorites page because the monthly favorites are on this bracket. So this was kind of a waste. I do want to do the mid-year freak out. I will probably do that maybe in a short or something, but I feel like this is going to be pretty lackluster as well, but here we are. Here are the book spreads. I have been enjoying doing these. They don't take as much time as some of my other reading journals have taken with full-on decoration. I still get the opportunity to doodle something from the book if I want to, or put a big quote, and then just have bulleted review notes, or I can do a long form type of review here. And it's fun kind of picking the colors that go with the book cover or the vibe of the book. So I do like how this looks. Now I don't know what I'm going to do with all of this once the year ends. I did not think about the archiving nature of this. So I might just get a cheaper 6 rings something that's a little larger and archive this reading journal in that. If you have any ideas, let me know. And then back here after the divider, I just have some plotter paper. It's supposed to be for any book notes, or if I'm listening to an audiobook and want to capture a quote or a thought, I can do that here. But I haven't really been using it for that yet because I haven't been super enthralled with anything in particular. I don't have any 5-star reads this year yet. I am in the middle of one that could be, but yeah, just not very exciting. But the size is really nice. I do like this. I feel like, I don't know if plotter is necessarily the right place for this. It does have really perfect sized rings, but this is an expensive little cover to just be housing my reading journal. So I don't know. It's happening. It's being used, but I'm not super duper excited about it. Next up is my pen and ink directory. It has changed a little bit. So now this is just my ink directory because it's getting full. It's getting pretty full, which just tells me I have too much ink, too much fountain pen ink. And so this is separated out by color. I do have a whole video on kind of flipping through this setup, and anything with slashes on it I don't have anymore, and if it gets more than 3 slashes on the page, I will redo the page just to keep it as slim as possible and clean. But I use this so much for choosing inks for my currently inked, choosing matching inks for my ink matching menus that I post on Instagram. And I'm pretty regimented in, as soon as I get an ink or a sample, it does not go up in storage or whatever until it goes in here. So this is definitely up to date. I have a blotter paper in just about everything, and this one has the extra slit so I can easily just put it in where I need it and keep it moving. So yeah, love this thing. And then in the back, I just have some extra sheets if I need. These are available in my shop as a digital download, so definitely check it out if you want to make your own pen and ink directory. So this is the ink portion of the directory. I moved my pen directory into this similar system. This is a personal size rings as well. Definitely not as costly or expensive as a Filofax. I just got this off of Amazon and it works lovely. I love these little pockets in here, even though I'm not really using them. But if I wanted to use this for something else, I think it would be great. It's a good little size. And in here, I have moved my custom grinds information, my interchangeable nibs tally, a nib wish list, and then pen profiles. And I have these organized by brand in alphabetical order. I put all the makers together. So if you flip to a section, I just have information about the pen and a little writing sample. This isn't as up to date as my ink directory. I'm supposed to be doing this every time I ink up a pen to like make the pen profile, and it's a little hit or miss. If I remember, I do it, but I do want to get in better practice of this. Yeah, and see, this one is sold, so I need to figure out what to do with the sold ones. But yeah, if I have any issues with the pen and ink combination, I should be putting it in here. Any thoughts, things like that. So yeah, and then there's some, this paper actually came with this ring setup. I'm sure I can find it again. I'll link it down in the description, but it came with dividers. It came with paper that is fountain pen friendly. And yeah, I thought it was a great, inexpensive ring system. And then I have some extra pen profile sheets back here that I wonder, I don't think they'll fit. They could probably fit in there. Yeah, let's just stick them in there for now. So yeah, definitely a good call moving the pens in one binder and the inks in another. Next up, my micro journal. Remember that? Super cute, horizontal folding journal. And I was so excited about doing little quick journaling practices every day or when I felt like it, just using up stickers and washi and a way to document little things and use up inks, use pens, that type of thing. Well, it didn't happen. Well, it did a little bit, and I'll show you the pages. These are all the pages that I made in that micro journaling notebook. One on January 2nd, January 3rd, January 6th, and January 9th, and then January 20th and January 26th. After that, I decided that I did not want to continue, at least in this notebook, because the paper wasn't really fountain pen friendly, and that was kind of the point. I mean, it was a part of the point, and you guys know, I'm pretty picky with my paper. So since I wasn't enjoying it, I just stopped doing it, and I wasn't making it the practice that I thought it was gonna be. Totally fine. It just didn't work out, and maybe I'll try again. I think the planner is called Ours, O-U-R-S, but I don't know because that's dated, and I don't want anything dated so that I feel pressure to have to fill something out every day. So maybe I just won't. Maybe I will include things like this in my everyday planner or in my life journal, or just have a TN insert just for this type of stuff. I don't know. This didn't work, and I have gifted the rest of the notebook and just eliminated it from my lineup a few months ago. Okay, next up is my Commonplace book. This cover, I do believe, is from Galen Leather. The notebook itself is a B6 sterling ink notebook. It has good Tomoe River paper in it, thankfully. But at the beginning of the year, I showed you how this was set up. I have an index back here in the back for all the subjects and what page the things are on. And I have utilized this book in general and referenced it, but it is pretty boring right now. I have a few quotes, lots of quotes starting off because I was moving some things from another notebook into this one that I knew that I wanted to go in a Commonplace book, but it was before I had this notebook going. So I have some notes on different planner sizes, 3-point lighting, some architecture things that I had learned, government structures, and then lots of nail stuff. I recently got a nail hub certification on gel chemistry and gel builder application. And so while I was going through those classes, I just put all my notes in here. So this, for the most part, is pretty boring. I do have a fun little diagram of nail anatomy here, but otherwise it is just straight up notes right now. But this was also a fun way to use some fountain pens as well. And I do want to go back through, because this just says nails right now. I want to do like some subcategories and index those as well. So yeah, that's all that's in my Commonplace right now. And I just have to remember that this exists. It is like right there at my desk, but I haven't been reaching for it as much as I probably could. I do want to have a little more decorative elements in here, even if it's just those little diagrams and visual aids, things like that. So I have been enjoying it, and I know I'm a beginner in this process of commonplacing. I'm just a little impatient. I want it to be a little more exciting than what it is now. But it is nice knowing that if I need to reference certain things, I know where to go. Okay, this is sort of an unofficial place for my inserts for this year. My everyday main planner, you'll see, is a TN size like this, and so I'm able to pull things in and out as needed if I'm going to a specific place and need a specific insert. And when those journals are not in the planner, I keep them in here. I am going to Japan later this year, and so this insert is all decked out for that because I will be taking this to Japan. It has been customized by myself. I took out the other icons that were on this cover initially just with an eraser and some like leather conditioner. Super easy. But then I sent it to Baumkuchen for some customization, some rivets, some pockets, some stamping. But inside, in a pocket, these are my travel and life inserts. So this first insert is for pin shows and pin events. So I have the Chicago, where's the cover? Yeah, the Chicago Pin Show stuff is in here, a place to test all the pens and inks, and then document some of the ephemera and photos and things from the event. Write about it. And then I'm getting set up for the St. Louis Pen Show later this month. And so this will be for all my like pen and stationery events for the year. I should be able to fill this for the year. I still have a couple more pen shows to go to as well. So love having this. Super easy to just pop in my planner, pop it out, and use as needed. So I love this. I also still have my New Mexico insert going. I've had this thing going since 2023 is when I started it. So anytime we go, mostly for work, but anytime we go around the state, I like to document the in-state travel. Yeah, this is getting close to being done. I just have a few pages left. And then here is my life journal so far. And this is a little more than what I thought the micro journaling was going to be, but it is sort of the same idea where anything fun and significant I can make spreads about. So our first pen and planner meetup, I made a spread about when Lady Gaga came out with Mayhem. I made a fun little spread about that. We got new computers. My friend came and visited me in New Mexico, our trip to Philly. So travel that would not take up an entire insert, I also put in this life journal because I don't mind it taking up a few spreads like this, but it doesn't need to be its own insert. So yeah, this is going well. I enjoy journaling like this. It is another way to use up the stationery, document my life, use fountain pens, all of that. So I don't even like clamp them, like strap them in. I just kind of set them in there and lock them in. Next up, my 5-year journal. The cover is by Galen Leather. The actual 5-year journal is from Sterling Ink. I do have little dividers in here for the months, but I'm not going to open this one just because it is personal. This is like my nightly couple of lines, musings. Yeah, I've been keeping pretty steady with this. There are some days that I just don't do, mostly because of travel. And sometimes I'll do the writing in my planner and then transfer it in here. Other times I don't, and I may just go back and say on a trip to Philadelphia or wherever, and then just call it good. I'm not too hardcore about it, but most of the pages are filled, and so I feel like I'm doing a good job with it. It's definitely become a habit to want to write right before bed. I do take this on more local trips, like in-state, but I found myself just kind of not taking it on longer trips just because I'm a minimal packer for the most part, and I don't look at this as essential. And here is my main planner. So this is the Faded Chronicle Undated TN planner. And so this is the planner that I come to on a day-to-day for tasks and, well, mostly tasks. And I keep up with meetings and period tracker, and I do in the back have an admin section, an activity calendar. I do photos in here for every month. I need to do May. I have my focus for the year. I keep up with any overnight travel here, and I'm just about ready after June to switch into the second half of the year. For the most part, I have been enjoying this. I will say that the size is so perfect. It fits in so many of my bags, and it doesn't take up a lot of room when traveling. And like I said earlier, I can just take out one or even two of these little inserts and pop it into this cover. This cover is by Moterm, and it's just an all-in-one thing, and I really love that. I do kind of miss my B6 situation. I really did enjoy that B6 size. It isn't small. It's the perfect amount of space as far as week to week, maybe even a little too much. Like I haven't been using this in review. I think it's just for notes, but this in review section, I haven't really been using that. It's supposed to be for expenses and any important appointments, but I've been using this space for decoration, and then the appointments and things go here. And then a couple of pages for the dailies, which I typically just do task lists, and then it's on to the next week. So I have been enjoying that setup. I even carried over my little cutouts that I did last year here, so it's easy to flip back to this weekly dashboard page. So I have been liking that. I do like that there's still plenty of room back here for notes and other spreads. I have been utilizing that. As you can see though, there are some spreads that I set up that I haven't used at all. And I sometimes wonder if it's because it's in the back of the planner versus the front. I don't know, but there is that. I also have been a little chaotic with deciding where my notes go for like meetings. So at the beginning of the year, I had another insert that I just use for meeting notes. I didn't like the paper, but I also didn't want to use like a nicer papered insert because once that notebook was full, I was just gonna toss it because I am putting meeting notes in a digital system as well after I write them. That just works best for me to like write it down, get the things in my brain, and then put it in Notion if I need to reference them later because it's under a project, it's searchable, that type of thing. But I do like to initially write notes. So after I got rid of that note insert, I started putting notes back here. But then I was a little scared that I would run out of paper quicker back here. And what if I needed notes pages for something else? So I ended up putting notes in the back and then not out of fear. This is where I am now. My husband got me the Plotter Mini. And so I've been putting notes in this. It's the cutest little like A6 size. And so I've been putting the notes in here, and then once I put them in the digital system, I will rip it out of here and then seemingly have like a fresh note-taking device more often. And so this is nice as well because if I open it I know immediately I need to put these 2 meetings in the digital system if they're pertinent. If they're not pertinent, then I can rip them out and move on. But this was also another way to utilize some blank paper. This paper is actually from a Hobonichi Day Free from last year. All the extra pages I had in the back, I just cut down to size, stuck them in here, and this has been working pretty well for notes. And even so, if I'm going to a meeting or something, I'm obviously going to carry this thing, but I can also just kind of tuck this in, close it, and it's still pretty compact. It's still in this one thing. So been loving that, but I will say super chaotic at first. Well, super chaotic in general, trying to figure out how I wanted my meeting notes system to work. So this is working right now, and I really can't think of anything else that I would use this teeny tiny plotter mini for. And then finally, the pen and ink journal. So we had the directory earlier. This is the pen and ink journal. And this is what shows up mostly on the channel these days. This setup has a whole lore. If you remember, I had this in a different planner and we had some feathering issues, and that's where I discovered the whole Tomoe River debacle. So I had to redo it in here. But since then, I've really enjoyed this journal. There's no, speaking of, I just really enjoy flipping through this and just using this. This is the kind of year at a glance. I'm documenting pin shows. I'm supposed to be documenting sales and releases here, but I haven't been doing it as much in here as the monthly pages, kind of. I haven't been documenting as much. So I have some stats, and you'll see some notes and ephemera kind of scattered throughout. This is all in that setup video. So I usually have my currently inked along with some fun ink matches. I started doing all of my ink matches with these pen stickers in here, but I think after this month, I realized that that could quickly fill up this notebook. So I didn't want to include these in this ink journal, and I have like a envelope of all of these different ink matches and just ink explorations that could probably go in an actual notebook with a number of notebooks that I have. Yeah, I should probably do that. But at least in January, I was putting the ink matches in here. I have some custom mixes. I got some nib grinds. This is a video of inks I want to use this year. I usually do a mid-month review, document new pens and giveaways, and then I do a inked in review. So yeah, this goes on. Oh yeah, I did some in February as well. I guess after February, I was like, okay, this is going to take up a lot of space. Ink swaps. I started changing my monthly calendar page to this because I wasn't writing a whole bunch in this. And so I just started doing this, and I'm not really writing that much here either. I want to put when I buy things, when I sell things. It just hasn't clicked in my mind as a habit yet. So I'm working on it. But yeah, I've been loving at least making these new pen day spreads and finding matching inks and documenting ink swaps, 30 inks, 30 days. Yeah, I need to work on these, but I love this notebook. And it's just really cool to see a whole year of the hobby in one place. Hopefully I make it through the year because I mean, it is halfway through the year and we're halfway through this notebook. So as long as I keep pace, we should be fine. Because that's super satisfying to me to like finish a whole year, finish the notebook. I know last year in my ink journal, I was using up the back pages where there were writing on it and all of that. So it's a whole thing. I enjoy it. I, of course, have blotter paper probably everywhere here. Blotter paper here, I have some swatch cards. I have little pencil board here, these dividers that I got from St. Violet. But yeah, that is where I am with this check-in techo kaigi kind of situation. So I am mostly keeping it moving as is, just eliminated a few things, just expanded a few things. But I am looking forward to refreshing this planner for the second half of the year. I think it'll be a nice little reset. But let me know if you're interested in that setup. I can always flip through that and show you what I've decided to keep, what I've decided to eliminate from the new setup. But yeah, I want to know what's been working for you this year, especially with all these paper shenanigans happening. I invite you to subscribe to keep hanging out, talking pens, inks, journaling, and planning. Up next, check out my initial thoughts about this lineup. I remember saying something like, I've never been so confident in a lineup. I don't think I've ever been this excited and sure about a planner and journal lineup as I am for 2025. Something like that. I'll leave that for you right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.